Hey guys, it's Dimitri here. I am in the backyard trails doing our thing, and I want to just make a quick video. This is going to be off the cusp, so please pardon the way that this is unscripted and, filmed with a selfie stick. Okay? So, Serensia is an intentional community that I founded last year, August 2020. And essentially, this is quite different from most intentional communities in that most intentional communities start with a group of people choosing to live together. I went about it from the standpoint of I have a very specific vision. I've been going after community living for quite some time. And so I started with a very specific vision and found people who aligned with that vision. The vision is geared around yoga, meditation, mindfulness, just overall holistic lifestyle, okay? Whatever form that takes. Some of the people here rarely do traditional yoga, but they do lots of, like Kash, for example, does Bagua, which is this very walking meditation, and other martial arts, right? So this is a very healing focused community. Everyone here is extremely interested in their personal well-being. Okay, that's like the number one thing. There's almost no alcohol consumption. It's not that we forbid it, but we do essentially downplay that. Like if you have a habit with alcoholic drinks, this is not the place for you. Okay, we're also an executively driven community, right? So we have meetings, we have votes, we do all these things, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to that all the liability is on the community manager and the people who are the official owners of the community. Okay, so there is a way to buy in, to be an owner, and then be able to have a stake and actually get some, essentially almost like the dividend at REI. That's the program we're going for. Okay, so not your typical consensus egalitarian-based communities. Not that there's anything wrong with those. That's just not for people like us who have a really busy lifestyle. Okay, our meetings are kept short. We have a meeting every other week on Wednesday evening. I'm sorry for the dance folks that collides with the Tabor dance on Wednesday, but it's just an hour, okay? And for the most part, we don't try to hammer out all the issues within that hour, okay? We are going to essentially reconnect during that hour, maybe hour and 90 minutes, okay? And during that time, it's our chance to get the really important things out there and to have people express their views. That's the most important thing. People need to be heard, okay? And so during that time, we connect, we talk about the things that have come up, but we don't sit there and try to hammer out discussions. We try that, had long meetings. It's way better to leave that shit and then we can use our communications channel, which is Slack, in order to have more thorough debates about it, okay? So we keep it simple, we keep it fresh, we keep it funky, right? It's a really wonderful place if you're interested and devoted to your personal development and your health and well-being, okay? This is a well-being based community. We do have a dog. We have two right now, but the other person will be moving out with their dog. So we have one dog here. We have my Maya, who is a really well-behaved, probably the most well-trained dog you have ever met. And if not, it's okay. I don't care about it. But she is extremely well-trained, well-behaved, and hopefully you love her. But we are leasing the property, so we have restrictions on what we can do. Maya is technically my ESA, and so we essentially can't have any more pets. Okay, we can have outdoor cats, kind of. We've tried that a little bit, where the cats can come in and out with somebody who's living on at the ground floor or the basement. It's possible for the cats to come in and out through their window. Okay. So just throwing that out there. So we have this cute dog. Hi, Maya. Maya, can you look up? Yes, good girl. She's super sweet. I am also equally super sweet. I try to be really nice to everybody, even when in community, shit gets real. Okay, there's definitely been conflict in the past. And essentially what it comes down to is this: we can tell who is going to be a good fit within the first month of living here, because it all comes down to how do they take feedback and requests, right? So if someone comes up to you and says, hey man, your music was a little loud this morning, would you mind turning it down? Essentially, there's two main responses people have. It's either like, yeah, sure, I'm sorry, or hey, no, I heard your music was loud last night, so I wanted to play mine loud. That doesn't work. We don't do that. We don't escalate. We keep it real, we bring up issues, and it's pretty apparent when people are willing to take personal responsibility for those, and then we move on, okay? We've had to have some mediation here. That's actually worked fairly well in terms of getting the conflict out, but then there are still times where the person who has the conflict, or who's the source of the conflict, they are, it's hard to change ingrained behaviors, okay? Just keeping it real with y'all. What I'm trying to do here is talk people out of living here, okay? I'm confident that this is an amazing community. We're in an amazing spot. If you love nature, come on, this is pretty amazing. This is our backyard. This is technically our neighbor's property line over here, but it doesn't matter. They're cool. They never come down here. And so we have several acres of green space to go explore with trails. And then if you want to go across the creek over that way, there's a lot of green space. We're on one of the largest green spaces, unofficial green spaces. A lot of it's like metro, so it's a hodgepodge of stuff. And there's a lot of land too that just can't be built, okay? Amazing, amazing area to be in. But we're also at 140th and Foster, which means we are quite some distance from like the typical city stuff. Most people want to live in Southeast Portland. That's the cool Southeast or Northeast or North, whatever. They're all cool, okay? All the areas have their own cool vibes. So if you're new to Portland and you're trying to figure out, where am I going to move to, whatever, like, they're all cool in their own way. But I will say this is a polluted city. It's not as bad as some cities, but it is polluted. If you look up more information about this, you'll see, the big time articles like the Bullseye glass plant, that really sucks. So and this has been an industrial city. So it's really nice that we are way out here. We're still in the Portland city limits, and it's like, a few minutes to get to the I-205 exit for Foster Road, right? Not a big deal to get on the freeway. So you're going to be a little farther out, but you're also going to be farther away from the pollution, so you have a little bit more fresh air, right? And you can really feel that if you're really sensitive. So further out, less pollution, but you could live in a trendy neighborhood. It's not like they're all polluted, but there's just areas in Portland, like way inner southeast, you probably don't want to be, okay? So, more about our community. And I digress, I'm sorry. I could probably do 1,000 outtakes. I'm keeping it real. I'm going to keep all the okays and all the other weird things that I add in there while I'm thinking. So, we're a very loving, health-conscious, communicative, and compassionate community. And we're looking for people who are looking to grow, but who are ready to grow. Because like I was saying, we've had issues before, and those issues came up because people were not ready to grow, okay? And simple as that. If you're committed to the growing process, you're committed to hearing feedback, to being able to digest the shit coming up. This is a great place. There's been many mornings where there's some really deep conversations happening in the kitchen. It's really lovely to come into that, and you're just making your tea or whatever morning beverage, and there's just the kitchen's alive with this wonderful energy, right? There's so much thinking and processing going on. You're also free to put in headphones and be like, hey, no, I haven't done all my morning routine stuff yet. I'm not ready to dive into stuff. Okay? Totally up to you. We respect the introspection process. Okay? And as you notice, I'm walking back and forth in a small area. I could walk way more of the trails, but I'm choosing to I'm trying to stay in the shade, actually, because it gets weird with all the sun exposure. So, whatever. Bear with me, please. Obviously, I'm kind of weird. I don't really care. I just keep it nice. That's the main thing I really try to focus on. I do like to go by Mr. Sunshine sometimes. That just makes me happy, and I think it makes other people happy. So, I'm a whimsical character. I try to stay in integrity all the time. So, whenever some situation comes up, I am always pretty much the main person who's going to get involved, at least for now. And things change. That's the other thing to be aware of when you're coming into a community like this. It is ever changing, ever growing. And we are trying to expand to having a few tiny homes in our front yard. And so that means you're going to be living with around 8 to 12 people. Okay? But if we go up to the house right now, I thought about making a video in the kitchen. It's extremely quiet. It is summertime, but there's still plenty of days where the majority of the day, the house is so quiet, so peaceful. We have air conditioning. It actually stays fairly cool. We had some 115 days recently where we were able to keep the house at 75, maybe 76, whatever. But the AC was working enough, okay? The major problem, the biggest problem we have with this house, and it's difficult to address, okay? Because we can't make all the renovations we would like to do since we're leasing. So the biggest issue is the noise traveling, okay? If you ever lived in an older house, you know that the walls just suck. They didn't put insulation in between the rooms, okay? They even put insulation in between some of the floors, which means that the person below you, if there's someone below you, can hear you really well, okay? Especially through the air ducts. And we've been trying different things, okay? The biggest things are having enough furniture in your room, having rugs, and we're actually going to require that for the bedroom that's right on top of someone else's bedroom. You just have to have a rug in there. Otherwise, it's just a little too loud. But, nice wool rug, which we can actually provide. We've got some extras. You can make a huge difference, okay? So the noise and the privacy aspect can be a challenge to some people who haven't lived in community or haven't lived with big families. And there's just a learning curve too with community, right? Like, one of the things is the shared bathroom that's upstairs, which we have 3 bathrooms in the house, one of which is the master, which is not shared, but there's 3 shared bathrooms, 2 shared baths, okay? So if you're sharing that main upstairs bathroom, that can be a challenge if, there's just peak times. In the morning, people are trying to brush their teeth. So it's like you have to be willing to be a little bit more open. Like, some people are like, hey dude, I don't care if you come in while I'm pooping. Seriously, like, it's its own little enclave of a room. I've even asked people, it's like, what if we put a little curtain over it? Nah, don't care. So, and there's the Maya. And so you just go with it. You can, you feel what's comfortable to you, but you do have to work around. Like, we had one person said, hey, if I want to be able to take a really long bath and I don't want anyone to come in. And it was like, well, how the fuck are they supposed to get toothbrushes? Okay. You gotta be willing to work around some of the stuff. Okay. But it's simple. And once you've been living with somebody long enough, it's all good. You're like, I don't care. Like, right now, I walk out of the bedroom naked, if it's later at night and I'm just like going to the laundry room or whatever. It's okay. People walk around naked a little bit here and there. It's not full-blown nudist, but it's perfectly acceptable. Okay? Yeah. So, I hope you've enjoyed this a little brief intro. I've been trying to keep it under 15 minutes. So, peace out. Bye.